Hello everyone, it's Tasha Dave here again, and I'm back for another crafty video. So today we are going to have a play. It didn't mean to rhyme, but it did. We're going to have a play because yesterday was my birthday. So August the 4th is my birthday, and because it was my birthday, I'll cry if I want to. Oh no, that's a song. I don't want to cry. So because it was my birthday, I just thought we'd have a bit of fun. So something I haven't used for a long time, but I thought was quite useful that you might want to just consider. And if I can find them on Amazon, I'll put a link to the Amazon in my description. And I do have to tell you though, I do get a small percentage of commission from the sale. It doesn't cost you anything extra. I just get a little fraction of the sale, and that's anything you buy within that one click of the link purchase. So if you click on the link and you buy these, and then you also buy something else, bottle of glue, whatever it is, I get the same small percentage of that sale. So I do need to let you know. So, but if you click on the link and then you click away from it and then you go back to it, it doesn't count. So I don't get anything from it. So far, since being an Amazon associate, I haven't managed to hit the earning threshold, which is £25, and I've been doing it for 2 years. So, so that's how small a bit I get, but it all counts and it all helps. So and also I just want to plug my Etsy because it was my birthday. I am doing 55% off everything. So I was 55 yesterday, and it's going to be from the 4th of August through till the it's going to run for 2 weeks. So from the 4th of August until I'm going to have to get because I just had it in my head and I forgot. Doesn't take much until the 18th of August. Oh no, sorry, it's going to be for 4 weeks. So it's from the 4th of August through to the 1st of September. There is going to be 55% off my digitals that are currently in my Etsy store. So it's 55% off because I was 55. So, like I say, from the 4th of August to the 1st of September, 55% off anything that you buy. Okay, I only sell Etsy. I only sell digitals on there, but any of I've got 90 something digitals on there, and I will also be bringing out a special Ko-fi digital, and you can also follow me on Ko-fi and whatever. All right. Anyway, I'll shut up. So today we're going to have a play. Now this is heat embossed foam. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word then. Okay, so what I'm going to show you what this does. Okay, so. But first of all, so I often get asked, because where did I get some of these stamps from? So for instance, this one prints like a little a cameo. I've got these which I use often for wavy lines to go across a stamp, for instance. I've got this one. I'll do it in the same colour that it already is, so I don't contaminate any other stamps. So there's this one. And these are all stamps that I have made. Okay, and I'm going to show you how I did these. So they're great if you have any embossing folders and you think, I love this embossing folder. I really wish I had this image in a stamp. And it's great. So because you can do it. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So this is the heat embossed foam. And what you do is you take a piece of this. This is a clean one. Okay, and then what you need to do is you just heat this surface up. Now, however you heat that up, you could leave it out in the sunshine and heat it. You could heat it on like an air vent or a radiator, or you can use your heat tool, which I'm going to use today. And all you do is you heat it up. You don't have to heat it really hot. You just need to heat it. You just need to make it warm on the top. And what that does is it makes it spongy, and then you press it into the thing that you want. So on an embossing folder, if you wanted to turn something into from an embossing folder into a stamp, if you can read it and it's the right direction, so this way round, see this one is not the right way round, that's already backwards. If you stamp it, it'll look the right way round on the stamp, but then when you press it down, it'll be the wrong way round again. So basically, if it looks like this, you emboss with this, it will look like this again. So if you wanted to do it the right way round, you start with the right way round, you emboss into it, and you'll get that. But what you'll get is you'll get a reverse image, because remember these are going to deboss into the surface. We'll do it in a second and you'll see what I mean. So this one, I'm going to use the deboss section, okay, and I'm just going to get this image because I thought that's a really nice image. What if I wanted to use that as a stamp? Well, this is what I'm going to do. So, because it's my turn to play, and it's my party, and I'll cry if I want to. No, oh, sorry, I've done that joke already, Dave. Blimey, talk about recycling. So there you go. You just need to warm it up. You just need to remember it is warm. Put it on the image that you want, and then just push it down. And when you just want to make sure that you give it a push, and you get all of that good stuff, and you take it off, and then you can, I don't know whether you can see that, but you've got that image there. You just need to be careful because it's not going to be really deep image, so you're not going to be able to squish it down completely on your project, otherwise it will just make it completely flat. Okay, and then we just need to put it down, push it down, and there you go, we transferred it. And I just like it. I just think it's a really, and then if you think, oh, you know something, didn't do a very good job of that, didn't get the top bit, and that's the bit that I really wanted, you can just heat it again and it will just start all over again. So I can heat it all, and all the image that you can see now is just where the ink was. The actual raised part has disappeared, so I'll just do that again. Go right up to the top, push it down, give it a moment just so that it's, as it cools down and sets in situ. Take it off. That's our image there. We can now ink over that. And it's great if you want to go and pick textures up and that sort of thing. So I'll pop that down on there, give it a bit of a wiggle, like you do with all stamps, and there you go, that's it. So isn't that fantastic? That is amazeballs. So this piece, this was some of this. It was just some, so I didn't use paper, because paper, if you try and then press into it, you're just going to squish it down completely. All I did was I took some cardboard and I squished it up and I created a texture, and then I just picked that texture up. So I'll do the other side. So this side, you can do this side, you can do the sides, you can do whatever you want to do. Just don't hold it, Dave, when you're doing it. So if you don't heat it for a long time, you'll be able to get an image on this side and an image on the other one. If you heat it for a long time, you're going to actually reduce the image on this side as well, and then you just press it into the work that you want. You've got the crumpled image, and then we'll do this one in black this time. Just stamp over it. Well, sorry, put some ink over it, and then we can pop that onto there. And there you go, we've got a crumpled image. So it's just like fab. So some of the things that I've done, okay, so that's the one that we've just done together. This one, this was off a coffee cup. So you know you get coffee cups with that kind of wavy corrugated card. All I did, flattened it out and then stamped into it and got this wavy line. This one, this was off a die, not a die cut. I used my Cricut. I cut this image out over several pieces of card, and then I just stuck them all together, took the middle part out of it, and pushed this into it, and took an embossing that way. You can use like stencils. So this is a Tim Holt stencil. Just remember that if it's not very deep, you won't get as much of an image from it. So I'm gonna have to cough. So just need to make sure the surface is covered with hot air and it's nice and warm, and you're just going to push it down. And remember, if it's the right way round now, it will be the right way round when we stamp it. So we're going to pick that image up, and that's our image, and then we're just going to, let's use another colour, shall we? I'll just use a blue one this time, I think. And we're going to pop that on there and stamp it on, and there we go. So it's just kind of opens so many doors up. So it can be stencils, it could be an embossing folder. Like I say, this is the embossing folder where if it starts the right way round, if you can read it, then that will be the way that it prints it. And I've got loads of these. You can see I've done all sorts of different things, and I've also got loads that I haven't actually done anything with. So I'll show you what happens again. I take it, put it on my embossing folder, and remember, because it's pushing up, I'm going to get a debossed image of this. So the letters are actually debossed, but the raised parts we will get an image from. So what shall I use this time? I'll use something different because I can. Hang on a minute, let's use this. Let's use this Memento because I don't use it very often. So when I stamp it, that's the image we get. It's the wrong way up. It's wrong way up, as in turn it round, Dave. But it's, so we could read it here. So we could, the A, B, C, D, E were all the right way round here. I stamped it, which made sure that they were. Made it so that they were the wrong way round, and then when I put it down, they become the right way round again. So you just need to bear that in mind, because if you start with something that looks the wrong way, your brain thinks, oh, if I do that, it'll be the right way round when I stamp it. It doesn't work like that. It'll be the right way round on the stamp, but the wrong way round on the image. So you can do, like I say, once you've done it, if you think, oh, you know, I've done that, I don't really want that one, then just heat them back up again. And although, like this one has got the ink on, you'll be able to still see the ink, the surface will become flat again. The bit of smoke you can see coming from it is the ink, not the actual thing. So this is just flat again now. There is no embossing on it. So you can do all sorts of things. You can pick up textures from things. You can pick up images from things like, what else have I got here? I've got things like these, which are for making clay impressions for when you're making clay impressions. What am I talking about? When you're using paper, clay, and that sort of thing. But you can use these as well. So again, what we're going to do, we're just going to heat the surface and then just flip it over, push it down. You don't need any great force, you just want to make sure that the harder you press, the more you're pushing into the shape, and you just want to keep it there for a little bit so that it kind of cools back down in that shape and remembers. It's like a memory foam, it's remembering the shape. And that's our image now, and then we can we can now transfer that. And there's loads of times when I thought, oh, I've got the embossing folder of it, but I don't have a stamp that does that. Now you can. So just think of all of the doors that could open up for you. There you go. So that's our image, and remember, it'll stay there. It'll be that image until you change it. So that's just the second generation. So you can do whatever. So you can go and get crazy, and like if you find a way. So don't use anything with a naked flame. Okay, so don't use a candle or anything like that because it's foam. I don't know what its fire properties are, but I don't want you to risk it. But if you can find a way of heating it up without exposing it to a naked flame, you could go and take an imprint off a historic stone carving or something like that. You could just take images from like the pavement or from the local lamp post, or there might have been something scratched into a wall that you'd like to preserve, or the bark off a tree or something like that. So I'm talking of barks off trees. I've got this one here, which is another embossing folder that I've always thought. So remember, whichever way up. So this is the emboss, and this is the deboss. So if you use the deboss, so let's use the deboss, and I'll show you what I mean. So let's take the same image either side and have a different one of it. So it's not one where it's words where you'll be able to see it's backwards, but you'll see what the difference is of the wood grain of this one. Just want to make sure that the whole of the surface area is done. I'm going to use that knot. So anything that starts as a deboss, this is the deboss side, remember. Just waiting for that kind of just to grab, okay, will be an emboss, so it'll be the stamped image of that. So when I stamp this, because I pushed that into there, this bit now is raised, whereas that bit was depressed. I'll be depressed if I'm not carry on much longer. No. What am I talking about, Dave? Anyway, let's use brown, because of course it's wood. It has to be brown, doesn't it? Like, you don't get, well, you do get red wood, but it's not actually red. We don't get redwood in the UK, but there is such a thing as a redwood. Okay, so don't leave the lines of the stamp on it, Dave. Let's put that, where should we put it? Let's move this, let's flip it over. So I'll pop that there. So that's that side, okay. So then it's not quite the right colour wood, is it? And then we're going to do the other side with the emboss side, which will be debossed in our case. And I moved it a bit, I think, on that one. That's why you've got like that kind of double line. I don't know whether I moved it when I was stamping it or I moved it when I was creating the image. So picking up roughly the same sort of area. Okay, and then forgot that I've got ink all over this side. It's interesting, isn't it? Good job everybody I work with knows that I'm a creative. So I'm constantly covered in ink. And then pop that on there. And there you go, that's that bit. So let's just do this one again and see if we can get it not I don't have to do that, I think. Just need to do this. And just stick this one down. So, because I think I moved it when I was stamping it rather than keeping it still. There you go. Yeah, definitely you can tell the difference there. So that's the same thing, might not be the same way up, but it's just the negative and positive of each other. So, but think of all of the doors that opens up. Like, don't go opening any doors with dirty hands though. Of all the things that you can do. So I've got all of these clayey things. I got them in a sale. So they have a bit where you can press the clay into, and then there's the back bit. But you know, you can pick up all the images that you like, and then you never run out of these because they just heat back up again, and you just reuse them. And you can tell. Might not be able to tell on camera, but you can tell when the surface changes. It's a slight change of colour, and you know that you've heated it then. I'll pop that into there. So that's that pattern. So that's the raised bit. That's not the bit that you would normally push the clay into. That's that side. So we'll do this, or let's do the other one while we're here. So we'll do this side on this side of it. So you could have a whole range of stamps where you've got the emboss and the deboss. I had to think of what the words were then. Words, you know me and words. Words don't come easy to me, said Leo Sayer. So that's this side. Let's do it in let's do it in a prettier colour, shall we? Let's do an orange this time, Dave. Let's put the lid back on the brown. So this is the embossed image. So that's this side, the proper side. That, okay, and then this side is the debossed image, which is this side, the side that you wouldn't normally use for your clay. Just try and get it the right way up so you can have a bit more of a comparison on this, a bit easier. And the stamp, although I haven't cleaned them, they do clean up. There we go. So they're kind of mirror image of each other. You can see how that would fit into there. So, you know, you could maybe you could do that if you could get it in exactly the right place. Let's see if we can do that, shall we? Let's just restart this process on this one. So basically heating it back up again just wipes it out. So you're erasing the image. And if I'd cleaned the stamp, you wouldn't see any of the markings of where it had been. So I'm just going to do the same. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and anchor it to one of the corners. So I'm going to go to this corner and anchor it. Okay, which means when I flip it over, it needs to be this corner. Okay. Flip it over and go on this corner. It might not be perfectly lined up, but okay. And we'll see if we can get that. So if we do this in orange, and we'll put that on like that. I just need to work out which way round the stamp is next. So that's the stamp in. Okay, so that's the bit that I've just done. So that, if I flip that over, yeah, it should be that way. And I'll see if I can do it in a different colour. Let's try this. Let's try this colour. Let's just give that a bit of a clean, or not. Cleaned it with my fingers. Remember, this isn't necessarily going to line up perfectly, but it might give us a bit of an idea. Yeah, it doesn't line up perfectly, but you could see how you could make that line up. It's a bit trippy, that, isn't it? It's going to make my eyes go funny, a bit funny, but like, never mind. So all the things you could do. So this is just a texture that we've created and then we've turned into a stamp, but you think of all the other things you could do. You could do it with a die, for instance. So I don't think I've got anything very convoluted here. Very exciting. Maybe let's just do a concentric one, because you can see that. So if I use this concentric die, it will also pick up though where the tabs of metal are holding it together. So, but you know, you'll be able to see that I've picked up that same image. Transfer that over to there. Let's get the bottom of that. So remember, you just want to push it down, keep it there for a few seconds. I only said minutes, but it doesn't have to be minutes, it's seconds. There we go, we've got that shape now, and then if we then do that with, let's do it, I don't know whether you'll be able to see the yellow, so we'll do that with this turquoise colour. Up here, so don't worry, I shall reuse the cardboard for something. It might be one of my dummy pieces that I make, one of my prototypes. There you go. So that's, you know, that's taking it from a die. So you can definitely you could create something. You could create a pattern with hot glue and then lift the image with that, or you could use, I don't know, just a row of pencils and pick up an image from that. You could use your your scoreboard and get the lines from this. So anything that has a texture, basically, as long as it's not too soft that when you press into it you're going to flatten it completely. So I don't know, fabric might work, but I don't know. I've not tried using fabric. I'll pop this on here, push it down. That's got those lines on it now. Now when I use some brown on it, I can just stamp that image. There we go. So everything becomes a texture that you can exploit. I've got this thing that's on my desk, so maybe let's just heat this up and we'll take the texture of this. So this is for shaping rings and things, but you know, if we wanted to take that bit, for instance, I'm just making sure that I get a full coverage of that. There you go. And then you've got this image let's do that in this. There you go. So you got that image. So like I say, the world becomes your oyster, and then you start thinking and you think, oh, what about this, or what about this? So then you could be thinking about, I don't know, I'm just looking in a drawer now and I've got some string, so maybe just a pile of string. So I've got loads of string because I'm going to be doing something with my string on my grimoire, within my grimoire series. So if I want to just put like a wiggly waggly string thing, let's see what that turns out like. I think I've just rubbed all of that all over my face. Remember, it'll give a debossed image. If it works. There we go. That's the string shape. So these areas are the bits that will print, and the other bits won't. So let's go for purple this time. We'll have purple string. We'll stamp that. See what we get. Oh, I love that. That has turned out good. That almost looks like it's been photocopied. That. So, see, even I'm impressed by the things that I can get from this. So you can just literally play, 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 play. How many times do you want to say play, Dave? So anything, you know, I've got this rolly thing, so I could heat this up. Instead of bringing the stamp to something, bringing the foam to something, I can bring something to the foam and go over it like this, and then turn this into a stamp. We'll use blue. We'll use purple again. It's great. I use mine for all sorts of things like textures and, you know, when you're creating a little bit of an impression. So look at that. That's fab. That's fabulous. You know, I don't know. So these are my. I wonder if I can get that off. Don't know whether it's detailed or whether I've got too much detail on it. So this one has got button images on it. So let's see if I can get that. Move that out of the way. See if I can get that off for you and show you what that is. So this is one I've made. Here's one I made earlier. So this one is buttons. So it's actually one I made for a long time ago. So unless you heat them up, they won't relax over time and disappear. They stay like that until such time as you heat them up, and you take them back to their original form. So I was going to say I wanted to try this. So I wanted to see if I could get the image off here. So I love the pattern that these plates create. I don't know whether it's too detailed. We'll see. You might need, the more detailed it is, the more you might need to press into it, but we'll see. So no, doesn't really get much of an image. I think there is a little bit there, but I don't think it's like anything we'll be able to see if we ink it, but we'll give it a go. I've got the lines either side where it's pushed out over the sides. Put that back in there. We know it doesn't really work, so I'll put that back. Do we have any space here? We do. We'll just see if we can get that to transfer any of it. No, you get like a bit of a crazy pattern, but you know, that's fine. We didn't know whether it would work, so we know it doesn't. But anything with a texture on it. I've got a brick here, because you know that's what you do. You know, us crafters, we have a brick just randomly placed. You never know when you might need one. So you could take the pattern off the brick. And you have to work a bit quicker because the brick's cold and it instantly cools the foam down. So I don't know how much of a pattern we get. Oh, we do get a pattern still. I also have another brick under my desk, but I don't think that's got quite so much pattern on it. What should we use for this? Let's use a brown brick. So what I'm trying to get across to you is you don't have to go and buy loads of stamps. You can make the stamps that you want. So the things, you can have good old bit of fun doing this. Look at that. That is an amazing one. That's definitely a keep. So I tend to find that if I do want to keep it, I will write on it in some way that I want to keep it. because then I'm not likely to use it. So I just put things like and then point to the thing that I want, and then that way then I can use that as texture for something, an upcoming project. So I definitely want to keep those, for instance, because they're the scrunched up paper pattern. I like them. I mean, like, I might just pop them in the box for now. That one definitely keep, because that's the one I've had for a long time. Definitely keep the wood one. The button one is not something I use a lot, but I wanted to show you. I love the string. Not terribly interesting, but I'll keep it. That's the Tim Holtz thing, you know what I mean, the embossing folder, not embossing folder, what's it called? Somebody tell me what this is called. It's called a stencil. That's the word. Thank you for shouting that at the screen. I heard you. But yeah, think of all of the things. Just remember, if you're doing a stamp, so for instance, let's just show you on a stamp. So these are stamp. This is a stamp set. It's falling apart. Stamp set by the looks of it. So because these start off back to front, they will print back to front. The image on this will be the right way round, but then when you put them down, they will be back to front. So just bear that in mind. So that's just a consideration you have to take. But you know, all of those textures you thought, oh, I'd love to move that. Love the pattern on that wall. Or, like, please just be careful and make sure it's your wall to take patterns off. And make sure you've cleaned it before you do it, and you don't leave like a red square on the wall. And if you do, don't tell Dave sent you. Don't go to a stately home and do it. But yeah, like, think of all of the things that you can now think, oh, I love that. If only I could have a stamp in that texture. You can now have a stamp in that texture. So just go crazy and have a bit of fun. Right, the next thing I'll just want to show you, another little quick technique thing that I can show you is, hopefully, is that the right one? No, it's not the right one. This is not the embossing thing you're looking for. So these, we all have these embossing machines, Dymo machines. I was looking the other day, and they have, you can buy as a not Dymo, they didn't make them, but you can buy another industrial version that embosses onto metal tape, and it's for, you know, industrial purposes. Now I was thinking, oh, I wish I could get metal tape for mine. So what I did was I created my own metal tape. So I'm going to print something so you can see. I might as well do my own name because I know how to spell it for a start. And then there we go. So this is a copper one. I don't know if you can see that. Let's put that on the back of my hairy hand and hopefully you can see that. So that is embossed into copper tape. There we go. This is the copper tape. And you're saying to me, but Dave, you said you couldn't get it. And that's because it's not copper tape. It's actually black tape covered in copper. So I also have one with that's silver tape covered in silver. So black tape covered in silver. So I had to take them out of the cases, so they sit in a little plastic case normally. I had to take them out of there because it tends to find that it won't run through the machine, otherwise it gets snagged. But I could switch that out, pop that back in there. So this is the tape that was sent to me in Happy Mail, and I'll link that Happy Mail video down below so you can see me opening that Happy Mail. So this is the tape, like I say, this is the tape that was sent to me. So I will put, I don't know, something else. Let's put H A P P Y. Oh, it didn't go through, sorry. Let's try again. This one doesn't always work, this device. So just, and also you're asking it a lot to H A P. Oh, it didn't go through that time. P Y. It didn't go through that time either. Happy. So this is on silver tape, and then you could just you can age it and make it look old. And I'll just show you what I did, because it's not hard and it's not something that nobody else can do. I literally took some of this. Okay, let's get it out of another reel, because then you'll have a better chance of understanding what I did. So I just took this out of here, and I just basically broke it out. I helped it escape. There we go. And this goes through perfectly well without it being in its carrier. And then what I did was I made myself a little shim for it. So a jig, sorry, not a shim. What I did was I cut a slot in this end so that I could stick that in there. And the reason why I did it on this card is because I couldn't see the black on the black mat. And then it just comes across like this. And then all we do is we get a piece of wishy-washy tape. Yours doesn't have to be wishy-washy, it can just be washy, but mine's wishy-washy tape. I'll pop it down like this, and we just glue it down so that it kind of stays in its location. It might curl a little bit. And then I take my whatever it is, the colour that I want, okay, and all I do is I just cut a bit of this off with a ruler that I've just had. It was there. So cut a bit off, and I try and cut it to the same sort of width. And all I did for that was I put a piece of the tape on, and pushed it over until it was the right width on one end, and then moved that down to the other end and tried to move that without the whole thing moving. And it doesn't have to be perfect, remember. We're not looking for perfection, we are just looking for creativity. And it's that flaming ice cream van. Diddly-diddly-dee-dee, and nobody's told me what the music is. So once I'd done that, all I did was I used my scalpel and then snipped it off. Don't try and make a too long a piece, otherwise you can just stick lots of pieces together, but if you try and do it in one piece, it all curls up on itself. So just peel this off because this is sticky. This comes on a roll, and then you just plop it down on one end, and you just peel it back, and you keep manipulating it so that it sits on that tape in the right place. And you don't try and do it on your black mat, otherwise you have the same problem that I did when I was trying to do it, which was I couldn't see where my mat started and the tape began. My mat started and the tape? No, where the mat ended and the tape began, or where the tape ended and the mat began, or the antelopes connected to the knee bone. Don't ask me. My brain. I'd love to tell you how my brain works, but I'm not sure it does. So then once it's on, just remember it is metal tape. So don't run your finger down it because it will cut you. I cut you. It will cut you. So if you're going to rub over it with something, rub over it with a tool or something like this, just to burnish it down. Don't press it too hard, otherwise you'll rip it. And there we go. And that's it. You've made your bit of Dymo tape into a nice piece of metallic embossing tape that you can then, you know, colorize. You can stain it. You can use alcohol inks on it to make it look aged and worn and yeah, and all of that. And just see if I could just do a quick aging of it for you. What can I do? Let's do it with a bit of green on it. So that's, is that the, no, that's not. This is not the pad you are looking for, Dave. I do have a pad somewhere that I've used with some alcohol ink. This one will do. Pop that on there, just some measurements. And then just, you can make it look like old metal. Just try not to put your finger in it, Dave. That's the piece that doesn't say happy, but you know, there you go. That's the piece that does say happy, Dave. I haven't exactly used the right colour to make it the right, but there you go. So, just a couple of embossing style things I was going to say, and I hope you're impressed because it's embossing. All right, I was just thinking, no, it's not a very good joke, Dave. You're okay. I'll show. Do you want me to go? Yeah, okay. All right. I won't extend the pain any longer. I shall go now. So thanks very much for watching. Don't forget, don't just look at textures and think, oh, I'd love that. You can now. You have no excuse. So I will link, like I say, if I can find them on Amazon. So I tend to have a link to my Amazon UK because I'm in the UK, and a link to my Amazon USA for those in the USA for getting things like this. It might not be a massive box like this, but I did get carried away. I think I bought about, I think they came in a pack of 4 and I bought about 12 packs because I bought one and got very excited and then had to buy more. And I've had these a long time, so they might not be the same colour, but they'll be the same thing. So anyway, don't forget, if you do use the link, it doesn't cost you any extra. I just get a percentage of the sale. So thank you very much for watching. If you do buy through that link, even if you use that link and you don't then buy that item, but you're still on that link and you buy something else, I'll get the percentage for that sale. So thank you if you do, because that all just helps me support the channel without, you know, I've got a bit of a financial situation that not by through any of my own cause, but I can't tell you any more at the moment. I'll let the situation evolve, and then we might talk about it at a later date. So also, there hasn't been a podcast recently, and that's because of a personal circumstance issue. So okay then. So there will be more podcasts coming though. So thank you very much anyway. Thank you for watching. My name is Dash of Dave, and guess what? I love you all without exception until you give me a reason not to. So don't give me a reason not to, and I will see you in the next video, folks. Thanks very much for watching. Go and make beautiful patterns. I know you can, because I just have. Alright then, take care. Big hugs. I won't pat you on the back because, like, you'll just get a dirty back. Alright then, folks, take care. Bye.